What up? This is Robert Ory.
Ory, three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
Happy Halloween. It is the Big Shot Bob pod. B-Dog Brandon Harper. I'm Rob Jenners. That is a man who is ready for Halloween. 7-time NBA champion, Robert Ory. And, oh yeah, check out the electric mask. That is, dude, that is super cool. How many different things? So Rob's got a mask for you listening in audio form. It's like one of those like LED masks where you can put it on. And like, do you know how many different things it can do? Because it's got like you came on, you had like a zombie face going.
How about
you got the poop emoji. That's good times. That's good times.
Yeah, you got about, I think it's about 50 of them.
Yeah. Oh, the fire's cool. Yeah, it's got all kinds of dope stuff you can do. I like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's those LED. Oh, I like that too. The fiery jack-o'-lantern face. There you go. Yeah. Hop on our YouTube channel. By the way, we're at Big Shot Bob Pod on YouTube, and you can see Rob's digital mask, which is just oh man, I don't even know what that is. Now it's just cycling through shit. Now it doesn't even know what it's doing.
That's Santa Claus.
It's just cycling through. Oh, that's creepy.
Who's that, Black China?
I don't know who that is, but it's creepy. It's just a woman's face, and it's kind of off-putting. So, God, that's weird. Man, it's cool. See, but that's part of the fun of Halloween is, even as a grown-up, you can go find the cool, fun kids stuff that you want to play with and just have a good time with. Like, do you guys decorate up for Halloween and stuff at your place?
We used to, but now where we live now, we in the hills and like at the end of a cul-de-sac, and nobody comes up here, so there's no point.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say, do they tase the kids at the front gate when they try to go trick or treat? Bang, get out of here! Like, oh, sorry.
No, it's weird because my wife loves Halloween. She got so many decorations.
Oh, yeah.
Like you should see our garage.
Yeah,
you can actually for 3 houses you can do. That's how much stuff she has. She loves Halloween.
Yeah, same. My wife loves Halloween. So we've got stuff, and we got crap everywhere for Halloween. It takes me longer to take down the Halloween shit than it does the Christmas stuff. Because we got more Halloween stuff than we know what to do with. But
for the Christmas stuff, I just hire someone. Put this up.
See? Yeah.
Come take it down.
Got that privileged life, man. Tell you what, that privileged life, shit. Harp, what are you guys doing tonight, man? You going out? You going to a party?
Nope.
Hanging out?
Nope. Probably not. I'm not in the Halloween spirit this year for whatever reason. I like Halloween. I think just because I just got a lot of other stuff to do, and so a Halloween costume was the last on my list to get. And plus, what I want it to be takes a lot of effort. I'll punt it till next season.
I have to ask though, what was this that you punted on?
Blade.
Well, why would that take a lot of effort? Really, I feel like if you got a trench coat and a couple swords, you'd be all right?
But see, the way I want it is the way I want it to do.
Are you going to get the Wesley Snipes haircut with the?
I was possibly going to do all of that.
Oh, damn!
So, and then the swords that I wanted, he has different looks. So I had a certain look I wanted. I wanted the vest and everything. Like I wanted everything to look pretty real.
You were going like all in on the blade.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
see, for me, I'm like black trench coat, plastic sword. Let's go. I'm Blade.
Nah. I wanted.
People in my neighborhood are like, "You're white," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but still, I'm Blade."
Nah.
Hey, as long as you didn't go blackface, you've been good.
No, let's get one of those digital masks that you got.
You better.
I'll put Wesley Snipes' face on it. I'll be good, man.
Because the thing is, like, it's been a while since, like, I've actually dressed up for Halloween. So this year I really wanted to do something, but a lot of other stuff got in the way. So I'm like, if I can't do it the way I want to do it, then I won't do it at all.
Yeah. And you got to have like a place to go. Like you can't, like as an adult, it's hard to dress up and just hang out at the house. Like you got to be like, I'm going to a party with some friends.
I had a couple I was going to go to as well. So it wasn't going to be a waste. Oh, it was going to get seen.
Hey, unless you here in LA, there's a party on every corner. I remember the first experience I ever had here in LA for Halloween. I was like, what the hell? Like so many guys dressed up as women. So many women were half naked. And I was like, shit, I'm just going to sit right here and just enjoy the show because they went all out here, man. It was bananas. And then I had the opportunity to go to the Playboy Mansion.
Oh, you
for a Halloween
son of a
party.
Bitch. He's living every man's dream.
That was an experience right there, boy. I'm telling you. You know, it was. I think all the Playboy bunnies, they all just use body paint. Just all they use. They didn't have any costumes.
So
on.
they just walk around naked.
Yeah, that's all they do.
Yeah.
It's just naked.
Bucket naked.
Living every man's dream, dude. And is it, so let me ask you a question. I don't know if you know this or not. Is it, the Playboy Mansion, is it around still? I don't think it's, didn't they sell it?
Yeah.
Because after Hef died, I think that was kind of, that was sort of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, it's the good old days.
Yeah.
When Eddie Murphy was walking around the backyard in Beverly Hills Cop of the Playboy Mansion. The good old days. All right, well, happy Halloween wherever you are. Thanks for joining us. Should we start the show with the National Anthem? I think maybe I feel like patriotic maybe on Halloween.
Hey, take your hat off! Oh, say, can you see by the early light?
That is Flavor Flav singing the National Anthem at the Hawks-Bucks game the other night. Of all the people. Now, I have to admit, I thought this was going to be way more of a train wreck than it turned out to be. It wasn't great, but I thought it was going to be a total mess.
It wasn't good either.
No, it wasn't good, but it wasn't horrible either. So it's kind of, rode the line. But.
My question is, why?
Yeah. Why Flavor Flav?
Hey, especially if y'all beat Milwaukee, y'all rolling high right now. Like, yeah, you don't need this.
Why? I didn't know. Is Flavor Flav like a big Bucks fan? I mean, he was decked out in the Bucks gear. Or
if so, leave him as a fan. He don't need to be singing the National Anthem.
I mean, Spike Lee ain't trying to sing the National Anthem in a Knicks game. It's just like, let the man sit. You know what I mean? And at no point do you go, we need a singer. Flavor Flav. That's the guy.
At that point, if it was one of those things where you couldn't quote unquote find anybody else, put in the tape of Whitney Houston singing. People are always fine with
this
that.
This is true.
Or the Marvin Gaye one, yeah.
Or the Marvin Gaye one. My favorite was at the very beginning, some guy screams, "Take your hat off!" All right, well, there you go. Flavor Flav doing the National Anthem the other night, which I thought was just kind of ridiculous. With his hat on.
Yeah, y'all didn't tell him to take his hat off.
Yeah, no, well, if somebody yelled, if you listen at the very beginning, it's the first thing somebody yells at him. Listen, ready?
Hey, take your hat off!
Oh, okay.
Hey,
I didn't know
take your hat off!
I thought that man was possibly yelling at somebody else who didn't have their hat
no,
taken off.
I think he was yelling
it was
at Flavor Flav. Yeah, no, he was yelling straight up at Flav. Yeah. Just silly and ridiculous. That's of all the people they went out and got, they got Flavor Flav. All right, let's Joe. We got so much stuff to do this week. By the way, I've got audio from LeBron we're going to get to in a minute. We're going to get to the Michigan State scandal. We've got Dylan Brooks audio. Not so much Dylan Brooks, but more Steph Curry audio. And I've got Dabo Swinney that we're going to talk about as well.
Oh, Dabo.
Your boy, Dabo. I'm going to start with, obviously, the big news of the night. The Harden deal appears to be done. James Harden to the Clippers finally happened, along with P.J. Tucker, Philippe Petrusev. I don't know.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Who he play for?
Dude, I would have lost that round of who he played for. I'll try to tell you what. The Sixers get Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, Nick Batum, KJ Martin, a 2028 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, and a 2029 pick that they're swapping from Oklahoma City. So Sixers got a pretty nice haul back.
Yes.
For James Harden there. But that looks to be done.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, go ahead, Rob.
No, I just think that if you look at what the Sixers got, they got exactly what they needed. Now, I think Robert Covington used to play for the Sixers, right?
I believe so, yes.
They brought him back. You got Marcus Morris with some toughness that they needed, because I don't know what happened between Marcus Morris and Ty Lue, but he fell out of that rotation. And when he played him in the playoffs, he showed you, hey, this is who I am. He should have played more, but I don't know. But, that's something else to talk about later. But I think the Sixers just made themselves way better.
Yeah. And we all knew at some point in time, the Clippers were the only team that were really wanting James Harden and were really actively pursuing him. regardless of how those talks kind of spiraled at one point in time, with everything that was going on with Harden showing up when he wanted to, them not allowing him on the plane.
Yeah, they turned him away from the plane.
Yeah. The Sixers had to realize that, you know what? Hey, Clippers, what was that offer?
Yeah.
Because you knew that was whatever they were going to offer was the best thing that the Sixers were going to get. Nobody else was going to offer any of that.
You were supposed to get Harden back at practice, I think, starting today. Had this deal not gone down, I think the word was that Harden, as of Tuesday, Halloween, was going to be back at Sixers practice on the floor practicing with the team. Now, what that means, I have no clue. I don't know if that means he plays or if Nick Nurse sits him or what, but he was supposed to be at practice today.
But see, that didn't even turn out well, because even if he's back at practice and you punish him and you sit him, that's not going to sit well with the fan base, because now you got James Harden, who's supposed to be back
on the bench.
Now you're sitting him. Now you benched him. So there's still no solution to this thing here.
But I watched the last two games with the Sixers. They freaking look good without James.
Dude, Tyrese Maxey, you were 100% right on Tyrese Maxey.
He's a baller.
Because it's like you think about Tyrese Maxey taking over to James Harden. It's pretty much the same thing. Tyrese Maxey is coming to his own. He's a better defender. He's more active. He can get to the hole quicker. James is kind of a setup guy, dribble, do his thing. But I think the Sixers, that's why I said with Marcus Morris and Robert Covington, you added some defense. Even though they lose P.J. Tucker, but you add offense when you lose P.J. Tucker. I just think the Sixers got way better.
Are there enough basketballs in Los Angeles for Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden?
I look at this team, and you look at if you watch the Clippers, which I have been. I've been watching a lot of basketball this year because I'm really interested to see how everything turns out. Paul George needs the ball a lot. He brings it up. Kawhi is the one that doesn't really bring it up, but when he gets it in the court, on the midcourt, he goes to work. Westbrook needs to bring it up. James needs to bring it up. You got three major guys on that team that really need to play with that rock for them as an individual to be successful.
Right.
And, Kawhi, the only one that comes off pick. Paul George, I think, is such a unique type of player that he can change and he can come off pick, shoot, and be active. But James is not really go in the corner, set up and shooter. And we know Westbrook is not that guy. He needs to play with the rock also. This team, to me, is going to make Ty Lue go grayer. That's all I'm going to say.
He's going to have to work on this one.
He has health issues, so Ty Lue might just say, hey, I quit, because this right here is going to make him go crazy.
This isn't going to be a set it and forget it kind of lineup. Like, he's going to have to tweak this thing constantly.
A lot.
Who plays where, when guys come in, who's running the second unit, if any of those guys are. I mean, it's just, to me, it seems like you got a lot of the same, like you said, you got three guys that need to have the ball in their hand to get their game off. And it's like, damn. So then what happens if one of them starts to struggle? Do you move off of that? Do you try to get, dude.
A lot of these things look great on paper, and it looks good for the headlines. Whenever Woj drops the bomb in the middle of the night, James Harden is being traded to the Clippers, and it looks good when you see the potential lineup, and it looks scarier than what I think it really is, because you actually then have to get out on the floor and execute it. And like you said, you got so many guys who need the ball, who are only really good with the ball in their hand. And so we know James Harden is one of those guys. And it ain't but one ball you can roll out there on the floor. And at one point, and with James' history, you got to kind of think, at what point does he get frustrated in L.A.?
Yeah. I wrote the same thing down on our show sheet today. I go, how long, if this doesn't work, or Ty can't put this together, or he can't get his game where he wants it because he doesn't have the ball enough, before we are back to square one with James Harden?
And I was going to say, and too, for me, is when you think of Harden and you think of Westbrook, great assist guys, right? But the one thing that those two guys need is a big. I know you got the big for the Clippers, but he's not an alley-oop guy. And that's what you think about, all the times that those two guys have led the league in assists. They had a lob guy. They're not the type of guy, because when they kick it to these guys standing in the corner, Those guys put it on the floor and they create for themselves. So it's really not an assist. So everybody's thinking like, oh, the assist that's going to happen. No, these guys need those bigs because you had Adams when Westbrook would dump it off. You had the guy down in Atlanta now that missed the lob to win the game.
Oh, to my Capella.
Yeah.
Capella for Harden.
That ball was tipped, by the way.
Here comes the Hawks defender. Yeah.
Yeah, these guys need those guys. So I'm really interested to see this because the one thing I will say, Ty Lue's a hell of a coach, and I really see what kind of scheme he's going to come up to play these four guys together. Or is he going to convince, Harden to go back coming off the bench, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think Westbrook's going to come off the bench. So I'm really going to be excited to see what Ty Lue can do.
I think all those guys start.
PG at the 4?
I think you could.
You may have to.
You may have to. I think you could have it's a lot of room down there for Zubac to do whatever he needs to do, and you have literally 4 perimeter guys.
Yeah,
they're gonna. They're gonna have to move that basketball a lot, though.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see a world where you bring in a James Harden and you have these guys and all of them don't start, and then you don't see what that looks like.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? I find that hard to believe.
But who we're forgetting about? Your boy Bones has been playing really well for the Clippers. And now he's going to be like, oh, crap, what am I going to do now?
Yeah. You go sit.
And we forgot about, what's the guy? Norman Powell. What's he going to do?
He's going to sit.
You got those two guys that have been playing really well for the Clippers. Now you got this coming in. You're like, yo, man, you ain't getting my minutes.
Well,
So.
I hope, and I'm not being facetious when I say this, I hope the Clippers can make something work with this setup. Yeah. I don't think that they're going to be able to. I think there's going to be, no matter how you build this, one of those 4 main guys is going to be the odd man out somewhere.
Yeah.
I think one of them is going to struggle, and I think it's just because of all the stuff we just talked about. I would like to see this work. I really would, because I think if they can make it work, now you have 4 headline guys going into a new arena, going into next season, going late. And if they make a push this year and they actually get further into the playoffs, now all of a sudden this starts to come together for Steve Ballmer. So I don't wish them any ill will. I want them to win. It's very hard for me to see that working with all 4 of those guys.
I want them to win too because it's better for the city. And living here in LA is, when you got 2 teams that can win, since the Rams can't do nothing. Look at
the side eye you got from Harp on that one, dude.
You know what? I never anticipated them doing anything coming to this season anyway. That's why we ain't talked about it.
They in trouble, man.
We will get to that. We have so much to do today.
If I'm the other AD in LA, I'm trying to get out of there. I'm trying to get traded. Ain't the deadline coming up pretty soon too?
Deadline is today.
Today? Yeah, if I'm AD, I'm like, yo, can y'all trade me to a contender?
I don't think he'll be traded at the deadline.
Yeah, we're going to get to Matthew Stafford, by the way. Actually, not even Matthew Stafford. Kelly Stafford made the show sheet this week. She may get pushed to shoot around just because we have so much stuff to do. Let's move on. You brought up the Lakers. We got LeBron defending AD the other night, passionately defending LeBron James, bringing out his best Mike Malone impression.
I don't give a shit.
Exactly right. So they were asking him about everybody kind of dumping on AD.
There was also a lot of criticism of Anthony Davis in that second half on Tuesday night. What can you say about his performance tonight in Game 2 to get your first win?
We don't give a shit about criticism about AD. We don't care. Nothing bothers us. Nothing. AD doesn't care. I don't know if guys have figured that out. AD does not care. He's not on social media, so he doesn't see none of the crap. He rarely talks unless it's us. So we don't give a shit about it, and he definitely doesn't. He'll go out and do his job, and we're happy to have AD.
I don't give a shit.
Was so the announcer wanted to say, yo, we on national television. Then you realize, I'm talking LeBron. Nobody gives a shit.
LeBron James, he don't give a shit?
I don't give a shit.
He don't care. Just go, man. Just rant. Just go ahead. It's like when Shaq used to cuss on TV, and they were just like, Shaq, we're on live. And he's like, whatever. I don't care. So you just let them. But I mean, look, I mean, when you see Anthony have the night he had the other night, after coming off of what happened in the second half with the Nuggets, I get it. I really do get it from LeBron's perspective. Say all you want, and after one game, you can't with a guy like Anthony Davis, the talent that he's got, you can't just crap all over him and, that's it, we're done. No, he's washed, get him out of here. It doesn't work that way. And now fan bases, we all know, we've talked about 100 times, we overreact to everything. Yeah. That's literally what we do. But, I mean, I think LeBron is 100% right here.
But it reminds me of that Dr. Pepper commercial where everybody's burning the stuff in the yard. He said, the season's over. He's like, yo, that's the first quarter. It's the first game of the year, and everybody's just dumping on AD. Because the first game of the year, a lot of guys they put these big expectations on themselves. And I think if you watch that game, a lot of guys were trying to do too much, from AR to Prince to Rui. Everybody was trying to do something to show you, hey, this is why they brought me back. This is why they signed me to this new deal. And AD was kind of the odd man out. And I know that's crazy to say when you got one of the best players on the planet sitting there for your usage and you're not using them. And it goes to Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham said it himself. He says, I messed up. I got to really assess my lineup. And that has a lot to do with what the team you have on the court. Do you have guys who know how to make guys better around, or do you have guys who are just, guys who can go out and just get buckets? And I think if you've seen of late that they're actually trying to go to AD. And also, this ain't AD's mental, but if there had been Shaq was like, yo, give me the fucking ball. He went down the block and broke every play and says, give me the ball. Even Tim Duncan's done that. Dream's done it. All greats big do that. But that's not AD's mental. He says, I'm going to run the plays. I'm going to do what's best for my teammates, not what's best for myself. And I think he has to put himself first a lot of times. Break a play. Even the other day when LeBron was posting up on someone and AD had position, he just gave up. I'm like, no, even yell at LeBron. Like, I got the advantage. But we can't put that dog in him to do that. But you just have to deal with what you got.
Yeah, I'm tired of, I guess, this early in the season. I'm tired of the defending of Anthony Davis at every waking moment. Every time he has a bad game or two and then comes out and has the game that we think he's supposed to have, or we know he's supposed to have. Yeah. Now we got LeBron defending him. We got everybody defending him. Oh, he doesn't care. This is who he is, blah, 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 blah. String together some consistency when it comes to playing the way that you're supposed to play. They extended you and gave you the money because of the player that you are.
I don't give a shit.
I don't need LeBron at the end of games during interviews defending him, talking about AD don't care, AD don't this, AD don't that. You know what? I'm gonna need AD to care. You know why? Because AD is the future of this organization, and I need AD to care, because if he's not going to play consistently the way that he needs to play and be aggressive the way that they need him to be aggressive, this Lakers team is not going anywhere. They know that. Everybody in the nation knows that. So all of this defending this and defending that and coming out and saying all this other stuff don't mean nothing to me no more. Play the way that you're supposed to play. Tell LeBron to move out the way if you need to, and go, because him doing what's best for him is doing what's best for the team, because he's the best player on their floor. Sorry. They gave you the keys to the organization. LeBron's been trying to throw the damn keys at you for the last couple of seasons. Take the keys.
I think his whole AD don't give a shit perspective there was directed very largely at the fans. I don't think it had very much to do with Anthony doesn't care about, it was more of a, look, you guys can say whatever you want. He's going to play the way he plays. Now, do I agree with you? Yes, 100%. He needs to be the guy, and he has yet to really excel to the point
the
where
fans
he
know
is
that
the
too,
guy.
though.
Right,
that's why they're saying it.
But I'm saying, I think that was sort of like LeBron telling the fans to shut up and let the man come into his game. And I get his perspective there. I do. But you're right. I mean, how much longer can you defend a guy when you're trying to kick him the keys to the kingdom and he just continues to just throw him down on the ground? He's like,
it's the same narrative every season. We go into every season with this same narrative. You see him, fade away in games that he's not supposed to fade away. Where it goes from where is Waldo to where is AD.
And I think that was the biggest problem. It wasn't that he vanished in the second half of a game. He vanished in the second half of a game against who is arguably your biggest rival in the Western Conference, just because of what happened last postseason.
All the talk that you did in the offseason, all of the noise that you heard from them, They're saying, who's your daddy? All this stuff, all these things that they're giving. I mean, you should already be motivated enough. But if anything, that should be added fuel to the fire. For you to literally disappear? No, bro. We can't have this. You can't be who you say you are and you be who we know you to be, and that be something that happens. I'm sorry. Nope. Not in trying to be a title contender. Nope. Sorry.
I think LeBron's right in the sense, though, that it's like, shut that off and go play. Now he's got to go play. But you don't have to listen to any of that.
If you don't go, if you go play, you won't have to.
You won't have to.
But when you don't go play, what you think your fan base is going to be quiet? No.
Yeah, I get it. Can I give you my time as a flat circle stat? And we'll move on to the next thing here. LeBron James made his NBA debut October 29th, 2003. He played 43 minutes, scored 25 points, 6 boards, 9 assists, and a loss to the Kings. Exactly 20 years later to the day, in his 1,424th game on October 29th, 2023, he played 39 minutes, scored 27 points, 16 boards, 8 assists, and lost to the Kings. I mean, it is time as a flat circle. 20 days to the year. The stat lines are wildly, wildly close, and 1,400 games between them.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of games. That's a lot of minutes, and that's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. Yeah, a lot of points. But 20 years, LeBron. Congratulations on celebrating 20 years in the league. That's pretty dope. Some quick notes, and then we got a whole bunch of other topics to move on to. Zach LaVine, 51 the other night. Woo!
A bucket. That man is a bucket.
Dude, he was cooking.
Didn't they lose that game, though?
They did, but he was cooking. Dog was cooking.
Hey, let me just say this. To me, I remember one time I scored 36 points and 32 points in college, and we lost a game. Those points felt like shit. I'm like, I mean, I scored this many points and we still lost. This is some bullshit, man.
He is a guy, and I think, because he's from California, he went to UCLA. He is a guy that I would have loved to see in the purple and gold, just from his ability to put the ball in the basket and to go get it. He's withering away in Chicago. Them fools held a team-only meeting 2 games into the season. 2 games
into the year. We got to have a meeting.
Bro, coach there?
Huh?
Who's the coach there?
Oh, man.
I forget his name.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
He's new, right?
Yeah. I think so. I like his scoring ability.
Oh, it's Billy Donovan.
Oh, it's not.
No, he's not new there.
He's not new.
No, he's not new. Not my bad.
Yeah.
I forgot Billy Donovan.
One of those coaches
I didn't even realize Billy Donovan was coaching the Bulls.
That's like his 3rd year there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't even realize he was still. I no clue. Didn't even realize.
Yeah, that's probably him.
It's bad when my brain thought Thibodeau, who I know is not there anymore. But the first person that popped in my head was Thibodeau.
Yeah, they probably butting heads with that coach already.
He's because I saw when and this was in 2020 or 2021 when the Bulls came here to Atlanta, and he put up like 60, and he was just, absolute. I could tell after probably about midway in the second quarter, I said, oh no, he had 30 something. I said, oh yeah, this is gonna be a long night. This is gonna be but he's just a flat out scorer.
Dude, he's great, man.
Yeah.
When he's on, he's great.
Yeah.
Chet Holmgren, 7 blocks the other night against Cleveland. Nice to see a rook get out there and swat away a few.
Oh, he's been defending real well.
Very well.
But that was funny, though, what Joker said about him.
He needs to be fatter. He said, I can't be fatter if I'm not already fat. I'm not fat at all. I can't be fatter.
That's funny.
He needs to be fatter.
And then my last note on here, and then I'll ask you guys if there's anything else from the NBA we want to cover before we move on to Michigan. Steph Curry. Did you see him just toy with Dylan Brooks the other night? I mean, that was borderline disrespectful what he did to Brooks. I have the call, and I don't even know if the call really even sums up how disrespectful this was.
No, it doesn't.
This is the screens to get Brooks off of him. Oh, he crossed him over. Let Brooks fly by. Oh, no. Steph Curry.
He did him dirty.
He did him dirty.
And then he hit him with the Home Alone face.
Oh, Oh yeah, I mean, dude, it was borderline disrespectful.
Hey, but that shows you how smart he is. He knows Dylan Brooks an aggressive defender. He said, "I'm gonna just toy with him right here because he's gonna popcorn machine,
break his ankles, and then have him overjump the block by about a mile." And I mean, dude was sailing into the paint by the time Steph took that shot, and of course Steph drains it and then just home alone the whole way down the court. It's just great, man. Love Steph Curry. Any other NBA stories pop up that you guys want to discuss before we get into? Because I've got Michigan sign stealing. I've got a Dabo Swinney rant. I've got the Colorado State penalty of the week. All coming up here.
Before we leave him, I didn't even notice till earlier this year that this is the 30-year anniversary of us winning the championship in Houston, the first championship ever to the city of Houston.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I was like, damn, I'm old as shit.
Dude, every now and then
30 years.
Every now and then I'll get like a note from somebody I went to high school with and go, "Hey, our 25th anniversary is coming up." And I'm like, "Shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. I don't want to hear that somebody my 25th high school graduation. No, I'm good. Thanks."
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. That's dope. The 30 years. Are they doing anything for the celebration of that or no?
They trying to do something. They're
trying to put something together.
All right. Trying to put something together, but it's be interesting to see if they can get everybody back.
All right. Well, the biggest story from college football the last couple of weeks has been Michigan. I wanted to get your take on it because I know that you've taken your fair amount of shots at the Patriots over the years. So we're going to talk about this for just a second here. Huge story. The number 2 Michigan Wolverines in a sign stealing controversy. The staffer's name is Connor Stallions. What a name.
Right.
Allegedly bought tickets for more than 30 games, many of them Big Ten games, and used, quote, illegal technology to steal signs. He's been suspended with pay pending the outcome of NCAA's investigation. Jim Harbaugh says he didn't know anything about it, but Michigan, who was currently in the middle of contract negotiations to make him the highest paid coach, I believe in the Big Ten, maybe in college football, but definitely in the Big Ten, they've halted those contract negotiations and rescinded a deal with him now. So now it is, what's Jim Harbaugh going to do? Is he going to try and jump ship and go to the NFL? Because now the NFL says, oh, no, oh, nay. You will not come hide over here, sir. You will stand and face the music. So Michigan sign stealing. Now, what are you stealing?
That's what I want to know.
Because are you stealing the sequence of wild hand gestures or the cardboard signs that go up in the air with like pictures of airplanes on them and shit? Like what are you trying to decode their system, I guess is what he was trying to do.
For me, if you steal a sign, I'm like, let's say you steal Caleb's sign. He's at USC sign. You got a good enough quarterback. He step up the line. He's going to audible anyway. So I don't understand that. But, I guess that's, if you don't understand or you can hide the package, the defensive package or whatever, and then you can just, I don't know. But Michigan to me is, I put them on that same boat as Notre Dame.
Oh, 100%.
Always hyped up.
100%.
Never can deliver when it's
I've
time.
been saying that for the longest period of time. I am so sick and tired of 2 programs, Michigan and Notre Dame, because obviously, they're going to do what they do during the regular season. They're going to be in the playoff conversation. Might end up getting into the playoff, and they piss the bed. Both of them. And then with them possibly going to a 12-team playoff, they're going to be there all the time.
Oh, but you know what? They're going to get cooked right out of the gate. Doesn't matter. Didn't they lose to TCU last year? Wasn't it the team that lost to TCU? Got TCU into the national championship game? What the hell are you doing?
You shouldn't have been there.
What are you right?
And Georgia,
and you lost to them, and then Georgia beat them like 7,500 to 3. I mean, it was absurd.
So just realize how much better Georgia is than Michigan. So look, Jim Harbaugh can call out, talking about, we want Georgia, we want all this. No, you don't.
You do not.
You don't want. They'll beat you right into the NFL.
You barely want Ohio State, and you have to play that game.
Let me just say this about Georgia. I have a newfound respect for them after watching them. And I thought they would lose that game in Florida this weekend.
Oh, why?
Man. Because
Florida's been playing better.
Because Florida's been playing better. And Brock was not playing in that game.
Yeah, Brock Bowers was out.
Brock is out. So I figured, with that, but hey, that damn defense is special.
Dude, always, man. It seems like no matter what happens, there's a certain amount of guys. Kirby Smart's one of them. Nick Saban's one of them. Doesn't matter where the program is. You could win a national title or you could lose 3 games and not make the playoff. Those guys recruit. They always recruit.
Yeah.
And they've got, you lose, effectively, Georgia loses their entire defense in the draft. And what does he do? He rolls out a freaking monster defense again. So
you're telling me. So you're telling me, out of all the games that Georgia has been in that have been close, Florida is the one that you thought was going to present some problems?
Because
it's Georgia, Florida.
It's Georgia,
I don't
Florida.
care.
It's in the swamp, dude.
No, it's not. It's in Jacksonville.
It's close enough to the swamp. That's
a neutral site game.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you can throw a rock and hit freaking Gainesville.
That's like when we used to play in the SEC championship game. It was played in Birmingham. I'm like, that's
a home game.
Listen, they can play that
it's
game.
It's like when Georgia plays the SEC championship. It's in Georgia. It's a home game.
Okay, that's fine. I don't care if that game is played in the Everglades. Florida is not beating. The fact that you told me that, well, Florida is getting better. Do you know where Florida was at the beginning of the season?
But
okay. Instead of putting up 7 points, they put up 20. That's the better.
I guarantee you, if I asked you Kansas, Oklahoma, you didn't have no idea Kansas was going to be Oklahoma.
You're right, but here's the thing about Oklahoma.
My point is, anything can happen on any given Saturday.
No, I'm going to tell you why those are two separate things. Because Oklahoma is always going to wet the bed in a game they're not supposed to wet the bed in. They do it every year.
But that's 2 games in a row. You never thought they would wet the bed 2 days in a row, 2 weekends in a row.
It's Oklahoma.
You got a point there.
Oklahoma.
You got a point there. I'm not even going to.
It's like being let down in a Notre Dame loss. Okay, it's going to come with the turf. Yeah.
Georgia has not even put their pedal to the metal fully, and they beat Florida by 3 touchdowns. What'd that tell you? Yeah. What does that tell you where Florida is?
Hold on. We're not going to say what it tells you what Georgia. I just tell you what Florida is. Let's be honest.
That also tells you how much better Georgia is than Florida.
Yeah.
Which we knew going in. But you always go when you have a game where you play. It's a perennial rivalry. You always just kind of
your best player,
and you always just look at that and go. While statistically you look at all the numbers, we should crush them. You never know when one's going to see, because we've had way too many years where Georgia's been rolling and then they hit the cocktail party and they lose 30-7, and you're like, what the shit was that?
It's been a long time since that's happened.
Yeah, it has. It's been like 7 or 8 years.
Well, it's only been a long time. It's just y'all just started getting a little bit better.
It hadn't really happened in the Kirby era. It was mostly the Mark Richt years where you would hit Florida and stuff.
The Kirby era is a different era. Kirby is going to take over college football. Yeah.
All I know is this weekend is going to be. I know Alabama has LSU, so that's going to be a hell of a game. Mm-hmm. Georgia's not going to really be challenged until they get to the SEC championship game.
That's it. They're done. That was their only challenge coming up.
Now, they've had Auburn. Auburn gave them a little bit of challenges in Auburn. It was in Auburn. That's a big rivalry game.
That's another rivalry game, yeah.
And so
it's not a rivalry. It's an SEC game. Every game in the SEC is a rivalry.
Right, but I mean, it's something. The Georgia-Auburn game goes back 178 years or some crap. I mean,
it's the oldest. I think it's the oldest rivalry in the South.
Yes, I think it's. Yeah, I think that's how.
Yeah, it's the oldest rivalry in the South. So, I mean, Auburn and Georgia, they hate each other worse than Florida and Georgia. Or at least right there.
You know what's funny to me? When I look at the Georgia schedule coming up, you said the SEC championship game. Everyone always jokes, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's not very good. Here, every now and then, Georgia Tech comes out and beats UNC in prime time when they're not supposed to.
And that was homecoming.
Right, and finds a way to recover a fumble that Miami should have never dropped in the first place because they should have just freaking kneeled on the ball. Georgia Tech's having one of those seasons where you're like, and then they get rolled by Boston College. You're like, what the hell is going on?
Can I be honest
y'all
with
are the most bipolar, crazy team I've ever seen.
I'm proud of Georgia Tech. I'm proud of what they've been able to do this season. I was at that homecoming game. It was wild to see them guys storm the field. They played a hell of a game.
They ain't gonna be.
But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this now, and this don't happen for another couple of weeks. They're gonna get their ass beat by Georgia.
Well, that's a given. I think.
Hey, but hold on. I'm looking at Georgia's schedule now. they last 4 games ain't no punk now. They got Missouri 14, Mississippi 11, Tennessee 19.
Yeah,
they're gonna beat the hell out of Missouri.
Tennessee is at home, so
they're going to beat the hell out of Missouri. Just like they beat the hell out of Kentucky. Because Kentucky rolled into Georgia undefeated, and Georgia put a 50-piece wing on them.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, man. This is Kentucky. They only play basketball. Come on.
I don't know. They keep propping up that Kentucky football program, man.
I always laugh when they talk about Kentucky.
Dude, they're trying.
Hey, let me just say that James the other day was like so happy that North Carolina was ranked down in Alabama. He was like, "Yeah, we was all excited. This shit won't last long." Of course, what happened? It didn't last long.
North Carolina was rolling, then they just dropped 2 straight, and it's like, all right, well, there you go. That dropped off quick.
Yeah, that Tennessee game is going to be. I'm a little because that's in Rocky Top, so that's going to be a little interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that one, I don't think they're going to have problems with Missouri.
You never know with Ole Miss. Ole Miss will look good in the first half, and then they'll fall off in the second half. But you never know. Yeah.
What's his name? Lane Kiffin couldn't even beat Nick Saban. Nick Saban got quarterback issues. He talked all that mess going in the Alabama game.
They got
just
rolled.
to get steamrolled.
They got rolled. Yeah, that was ugly.
He don't want to see Georgia.
All right, couple more things. We got to do big shot of the week, and then we have a Halloween edition of Walmart or Waffle House today. And there's a story and a reason why. All right, let's get to the audio. I scoped this down. It's a little bit long. It's about a minute and a half. But the rant itself, if you've heard it from Dabo Swinney, goes on for about 5 minutes. He had a caller on the Clemson call-in show who called and said, "You're making $11.5 million a year, and this team is 4-4, and you continue to lose." And who'd they lose to? NC State last weekend? Someone terrible.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dreadful team.
But everybody picked NC State to win that game, though.
Did they really? Over Clemson?
Which tells you what this Clemson program is right now.
Oh, no, Clemson's a mess. So Dabo, I guess, did not take too kindly to this. I bring this to the show because Dabo's your boy. And before this starts, I'm going to say, I feel like this is beneath Dabo Swinney. But
shows you how frustrated he is.
He has a point. Here's the rant.
We won 11 games last year, and you're part of the problem, to be honest with you, because that is part of the problem. It's people like you that all you do is the appreciation. The expectation is greater than the appreciation, and that's the problem. And so, we've won 12 10-plus win seasons in a row. That's happened 3 times in 150 years. So if you want to know why, Clemson ain't sniffed a national championship for 35 years. We've won 2 in 7 years. And there's only 2 other teams that can say that, Georgia and Alabama. Okay? Is this a bad year? Yeah. And it's my responsibility. Take 100% responsibility for it. But all this bull crap you're thinking, all these narratives you read, listen, man, you can have your opinion all you want. Now, even when you win, people like you complain. I started as the lowest paid coach in this freaking business. All right? And I'm where I am because I've worked my ass off. And I ain't going to let some smart-ass kid get on this phone and create this stuff. I'm 53 years old. And there ain't one thing in my life. I have been a part of failure many times, but there ain't one thing in my life that I've ever failed at, Tyler. Never. But I'm not going to sit here and let you call. I don't give a crap how much money I make. You ain't going to talk to me like I'm 12 years old. You'd be freaking kidding me.
Amen.
Good throw in there at the end. Thank you very much for that. That guy hosting the Clemson call-in show, right on it. That goes on. I cut it down to just the parts that I thought kind of stood out the most to me. But it's about 5 minutes long. If you want to hear it in its entirety, you can find it online very easily. How do you feel about this? I have some thoughts. I'll let you go first, though.
For me, you can see the frustration at Dabo because he's had a good recruiting class. And the only thing that's hurting him is, and I appreciate him for this because we're going through this problem right now where everybody only want portal kids. You only want portal. And he's trying to do it the old-fashioned way where he actually recruiting kids and bringing these kids in. So I respect him in that sense because when you have a child that's trying to get in college and someone says, "Oh, we don't want you because we want portal kids. We want the older kids. We want this. We want that." It's kind of frustrating, but he's trying to do it also, but he's going to have to get away with that. He's going to push it to the side because in football, you got guys who've been red-shirted. You got guys who've been, waiting and got guys, transferred from JUCOs. He needs to get those grown men out there because right now his team is young and everybody expects once you win a championship, they expect this out of you each and every year. And he's going to have to adapt and say, okay, I need to bring in this guy. I need to bring in that guy. He's going to have to change more. And I appreciate what he's trying to do because it's good for kids who want to say, hey, I'm coming straight out of high school. I want to go into college. I want to participate. And a lot of college schools ain't take. You look at USC, all portal. You look at Colorado, all portal. And that's not who he is. But sometimes, you got to change with the times, Dabo. You got to adjust and adapt. And, I know you don't want to, but you might have to.
Oh, he's going to have to, or he's going to lose his job.
Mm-hmm.
No coach, and Nick Saban has shown you this. And if there was one guy that you would thought would be stubborn and stick to his ways because he's won so much, it would be Nick Saban. And even he had to adjust. Now, not to the he was all, this was before the portal stuff. I'm talking about changing offenses, changing the way you play the game. Why? Yeah. Because the game was forcing you to do so. And when the game forces you to adjust, I don't care how great you think you are, you're going to fall behind if you don't. And it's the same thing with the transfer portal. I understand you want to do it the old-fashioned way, and you can still do some of that because the transfer portal isn't so grand to where you still can't infiltrate these old ways into it. But when you have so many of these talented guys, especially at the quarterback position, you're recruiting these 5-star guys, and they're young and they're talented, but they're not ready. When you have seasoned guys hitting the portal because they're not getting enough opportunity that could possibly fit into what you're trying to do, or you adjust what you're trying to do to kind of fit them to get the most out of them, go do it. You got to adjust to keep your job because things are changing. Every day, things are changing in when it comes to the landscape of football. And if you're not willing to adjust, I'm sorry. He's been very successful, a very good football coach, a very good recruiter, but he will lose a job at Clemson if he does not adjust.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with this. Every now and then I would get into Shaquille's ear about snapping back at people on Twitter. Somebody would get in his ear about something, and God bless, you're not really this way, so I don't really worry about you. But with him, it was like one idiot in the crowd says the wrong thing at the wrong time, and he wants to fight him. And he wants to, you come down here, you say that to my face, I'll kick your fucking ass. And it's like, okay, I get that, but if you're Dabo Swinney, you don't owe this kid your resume.
Yeah.
Especially you know what I mean? Like the way he kind of dressed the kid down was unsettling to me because even this kid is a microcosm of your entire fan base. Every kid in the fan base is a kid. They're college kids. Even the older people that are graduated out, we're sports fans. We have no rationale. We just overreact to everything. That's how we work. It's how sports works. And he knows that. But the way he dressed this kid down, to me it just screamed like he's got this whole narrative of the expectation outweighs the appreciation. Are we supposed to throw roses at your feet in a 4-4 season? No. I mean, the program ain't there now. It has been. But you don't owe this kid that whole explanation. You don't owe him that rant. He's just a kid. He's a loudmouth kid on Twitter. It's the same thing. But I guess that one hit him the wrong way. And he decided, I'm going to take this opportunity to dress this kid down. And I didn't like it. And I like Dabo. I think as a coach and as a pro, we've had him on this show. We've talked to him before. He's an incredibly impressive person. He's a great coach. He's a great man. I know he's a friend of yours. That's beneath him. He does not have to do that, nor should he do that.
Yeah. I think for me, I look at it to him. It's a credit to you, Dabo, because they expect great things out of you. You turn this program
That's what
around.
Happens when you build a win.
Yeah, and so now they're used to seeing you fighting for a national championship. They're used to you winning. And all of a sudden you have these 3 years you haven't been, competitive. They're like, hey, we want the old Dabo back. But I feel bad for any coach in that situation where, you go out and you lay your life, you lay your heart on the line, you put all this stuff on the line, right? You have these great seasons. Now they expect great things out of you. And now you have that one bad season, you suck. That's like it is. That's how it is in sports everywhere. If you good, and you have a bad season, he's washed up. He sucks. Let's move on from it.
Yeah. I mean, it's every sport, man.
Unless you in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization,
And like we talked about last week, you can survive anything.
You ain't going nowhere.
Absolutely
but
right.
Organization, unless you Nick Saban, you up out of there.
What do you think, Clemson host?
Amen.
Okay, he thinks he's down. He's amen. Yeah. I mean, it's just,
he's got to look. I understand his frustration because
I do too. I completely do.
He's obviously this is a territory that they have not been in quite some time, and I understand what he's saying about the level of appreciation because this is a tough job. It's a tough job to be able to because as a college football head coach in a prominent program, there's no rest. There's always recruiting to do. There's always visits to do.
You're working your ass off
while you're
all
coaching.
the time. Yes, you are working constantly. And to
Killing
feel like the
sometimes.
fan base doesn't appreciate that,
Right.
it sucks. But it's not their job to appreciate what you've done.
Yeah.
You have to win the fan base over every single year.
And that's what happens. It's the double-edged sword. You want to win because you want to set a precedent. You want to be successful, but in the same regard, when you set that level of expectation, people hold you to it.
Yep. Damn straight.
Did Clemson come into this year ranked or no?
Yes.
Yeah, they were. They were ranked.
They were in the top 10.
Yeah. I think they were ranked 8 or 9 when they started the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And that's,
I think that has a lot to do with it right there.
Yeah, no, look, it's we've said it all, so I'm not going to say it all again. But when you're there, people expect you to always be there. And then when you have a year like this where you lose games you should not lose.
And I think it was didn't they play Florida State and had to go into overtime and lost that game?
Yeah, that was a hard-fought game.
It seemed like after that game, they just was like, fuck, our season's over with. And they just went spiraling.
Well, I thought it started to spiral downhill. They lost their first game versus Duke. Their first game of the season.
Yeah, that's right.
Come to basketball school?
Yeah.
Duke, the basketball school, yes. Who, if I'm not mistaken, it was ranked as of last week or the week before. Yeah, and then you're right. They lost to Duke out of the chute. They lose in, double overtime to Miami. They lose to freaking NC State last week. So, I mean, the part of it is, too, you're not losing to Georgia, Alabama. You're losing to schools that you should beat.
Well, Miami was ranked until they had the fiasco against Georgia Tech.
Well, that was a nightmare. That was a freaking nightmare.
So they lost Duke's rank, Florida State's rank, and Miami's rank. So they lost to 3 ranked teams. So it's not like they lost to some
but they're
folks.
teams that aside from Florida State, Duke is a team that you've beaten without question every year. Miami's a team you've beaten without hesitation every year. I think the average deficit in the Miami losses over the last 4 years was like 38 points. You've beaten them by an average of almost 40 points for the last 4 years straight.
But do you know why Clemson is struggling so much? It's the quarterback position.
Yeah.
It's one, and that's one of the major transfer portal positions when you start talking about whether you pick up where you kind of left off or you're kind of starting from scratch. Look, Trevor Lawrence, there's no Trevor Lawrence or Deshaun Watson walking through that door as of right now. Not that I know of.
Both of which were very special quarterbacks for Clemson.
Very special.
Very.
Hailing from the state of Georgia, might I add. Both of them. So very special talents walking through that door. You never know what you have hidden in your program until they get out there and play. But you may not be able to find another one of them unless you hit the transfer portal and bring somebody in. Who knows?
Well, anyway, I just wanted to get your take on the audio because it's kind of all over the place today. And, Dabo's a friend. So, hopefully we can have him back on soon. I would imagine we'll have to wait until they're through the rest of the season because I can't imagine he's too antsy to get on anybody's podcast, talk about football right now, as we just heard. And that was on his call-in show. All right, I'm going to do Big Shot of the Week real quick. We'll punt a couple topics to shoot around. Be with us on Friday for everything we missed, and we'll do Walmart or Waffle House. Our Big Shot of the Week is going to go to Marcel LeBron. He's an entrepreneur who sold his social media monitoring company. He's in Canada. Sold it to an American competitor, and he took all the money he made. He invested $4 million of it, all of his own money, in using that cash to build a community of tidy homes for the homeless people in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, and he is employing many of those people who are in need of work to build the homes that they're going to live in. So this dude made a nice fat piece of money and immediately invested it back into the homeless community in his town and put those people to work and is building them homes. So, dude, big shot to you because you know how many people would sell their company and run off into the sunset and sit on a beach somewhere like me and you and not do anything that noble. And this man turned around and said, no, there's people in my community that need help, and I'm going to help them.
Man,
so Marcel
really
LeBron, big shot.
Yeah, because a lot of people, when they get that money, they're going to be selfish, but he's giving back big time, man. So thank you, Marcel.
That's
thank
dope.
you for I wish they'd do that in L.A.
Yeah. Oh, God, you guys have when it comes to the homeless, that's a problem.
It's
a big problem out there. Yeah. And it's starting to get that way here in Atlanta. It's not nearly as bad as L.A., but there's parts of downtown, it's just like, oof. I hate to see it. But, big shot for those guys that are doing a little extra. One of my favorite stories of the week is going to bring us into this week's round of Walmart or Waffle House. In honor of Russell Wilson this week, who for Ciara's birthday rented out an entire Waffle House.
Hey, that was in response to that list that people had put out about that was first date stuff. And so he rented out a whole Waffle House for.
And apparently.
That was their first date?
No, but a lot of people were confusing it and saying, like, he rented out, and everybody was like, that's not their first date. They're married. And he rented out the Waffle House. So there's no correlation between the two.
She loves Waffle House. He rented her a Waffle House for her birthday. No high-priced fancy dinner. Just let's go get some scattered smothered.
But hold on now. He rented out a whole Waffle House, right?
Yep.
He probably came out cheaper renting out a Waffle House than taking to an expensive dinner.
100%. Absolutely. That's correct. All right, so we're going to do...
You make all that money, you cheapskate. You should have bought her a Waffle House.
You could have bought her a damn Waffle House franchise.
They call it Ciara's Waffle House.
Oh, my God. You know how much money a place would make? Everyone wants to go to Ciara's Waffle House.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Russ. We just gave you $1 million idea. Go nuts. All right, so in honor of that, it's a Halloween edition of Walmart or Waffle House. Some of the scariest shit we've seen at Walmart's or Waffle Houses. I give you the story. You guys just have to guess where it happened. Story number 1. A woman entered this establishment wearing a joke Witness Protection Program t-shirt as a Halloween costume, only to receive a note from an employee saying, quote, please be careful. We hope they catch him, whatever he done. Thinking she was really in the Witness Protection Program. So, did the employee who really believed that this woman was in the Witness Protection Program because she had that shirt on happen at a Walmart or a Waffle House?
I gotta go Waffle House.
I'm gonna go Walmart.
This happened in Washington, D.C. at a Walmart. Point for B-Dog Brandon Harper. Very nice. Walmart employees. I hope they catch him, whatever he done. I hope they get
Waffle
him.
House employees ain't gonna care nothing about that.
Oh, no. They're all in witness protection anyway.
Yeah.
I used to work at Goldman Sachs. Of course you did. All right, story number 2. It took a call to authorities to de-escalate this situation. An elderly man dressed like Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch.
Huggy Bear.
Along with what was very clearly a real prostitute, arguing about the money that she demanded that he paid or that she wants or she's not going home with him. So they get into a fight about what she owes him for the night in the middle of a Walmart or a Waffle House.
That's got to be a Waffle House. I'm going Waffle House again.
Rob's doubling down on Waffle House.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go Waffle House this time.
It's going to be a point for both of you. 100% correct. That was a Waffle House. By the way, a pimp and a prostitute, almost always a Waffle House. Because I'm not trying to take a shot. I love Waffle House, but the people you see. All right, story number 2. Oh, man. Story number 3. Customers of this Alabama location were notably terrified when a man with a full Halloween clown outfit walked in, complete with gory clown makeup and the whole thing, at 2 o'clock in the morning in the middle of March. So it's not Halloween, but dude walked in with the full clown gore makeup. Happened at a Walmart or a Waffle House?
That's got to be a Walmart.
Walmart.
Everybody's going Walmart. Everyone gets a point. It was indeed a Walmart.
I heard about this story. So
in March, in the middle of March, what are you doing walking around at 2 in the morning in clown makeup and people are sick. All right. Story number 4. A woman in Texas got into a fight with the manager of this location after she was asked to, quote, cover up while inside. She was 5'4", weighed in at just over 300 pounds, wearing only a miniature string thong bikini. So, big old girl. All the bits and bobs hanging out. String bikini. Asked to cover up inside of a Walmart or a Waffle House. Everybody's thinking.
I go Walmart. I gotta go Walmart.
I'm going Walmart again.
Yeah.
Asked to cover up. I'm gonna go. I just don't foresee Waffle House asking somebody to cover up, so I'm gonna go Walmart.
Everybody goes Walmart. Once again, everybody gets a point. Happened at a Walmart, yeah. I love your rationale. I don't see the Waffle House. Look, man, if I got a plate full of sausage in front of me, I don't need more sausage in the booth next to me. Let's just put a few things on. That's all I'm saying. All right. Story number 6. A Connecticut man was asked to leave this location after being told he could not wear a Donald Trump rubber mask inside. So he left, and he got his sweet revenge by throwing a large rock through one of the front windows and was indeed arrested. So you can't wear your Donald Trump rubber mask in here. Then he broke a window at a Walmart or at a Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Rob says Waffle House.
Rob is saying Waffle House because apparently he doesn't think there are any windows at Walmart.
Hey man, how you know the way I'm thinking over here?
because we had
that's not how I was thinking, because every time I walked into a Waffle House, it's all been blacks working.
And they don't want no Donald Trump in there? Okay, I see
exactly.
That's fine. That's fine.
And the only reason I say that is because we've had this somewhat of discussion before about there not being windows at Walmart.
The front doors.
I'm trying to throw you off.
But with that being said, I'm gonna go Waffle House.
Once again, point for both of you. Happened at a Waffle House, absolutely.
What about the disturbance of the number 5? You gonna skip that one? I
missed the story. My bad.
Yeah.
Story number 5. I skipped one. I got to go back. All right. We'll call this number 6. Number 6, part 2. 6B. Police were called to break up a disturbance between employees at this location. A grown man dressed like a baby. When anyone tried to talk to him, he would babble like an infant and throw things on the floor. He was removed after wetting his adult diaper. That is a legit story. I wrote this up and was like, I can't wait to read it. And I was too hung up with the big fat woman in the string bikini, and I missed it entirely.
I'm gonna go Walmart.
I'm gonna go Walmart too.
Once again, you both go Walmart, and this time you both get a strike. That happened at a Waffle House.
What?
But what threw me off was he was throwing things on the floor.
Well, yeah, but you got utensils and salt and pepper shakers.
I get it. That's true.
Napkin dispensers and other customers. You got all kinds of shit you can throw.
If he came in a high chair, I'd be like, okay, that's a Waffle House.
All right, the last story, Walmart or Waffle House, Halloween edition. A man wearing a fake boob attached to his chin caused a disturbance at this location. He was alternating between talking to an employee and then sucking on it. When asked to take it off, he flipped out. The manager had to leave, asked him to leave before the cops arrived. So he was wearing a fake boob on his chin, pulling it off, sucking on it, putting it back on his chin, upsetting everybody, asked to leave. Walmart or Waffle House?
Walmart.
Oh, Harbough comes in with Walmart.
See, I was thinking to be a Walmart, but I'm gonna assume that he didn't get enough breast milk, so he had to go to a Waffle House to get more to eat.
I like the rationale here.
I'm going with a Waffle House.
I like the rationale here. The point goes to B-Dog Brandon Harper. It was happening at a Walmart, but I did like your rationale. I don't know why the fake boob is full of breast milk, but I like your rationale.
He's hungry.
He's hungry.